as many Fever fans as there were Sky fans. So Caitlin Clark is not playing the game. And like, by the way, like, people didn't know whether or not Caitlin was playing that game until the very end. There are hundreds of fans that were there to see Caitlin Clark play on the not see Caitlin Clark on the off chance Caitlin Clark would be able to sign something. She was there. She spent like 20 minutes autographing everything. So here's Caitlin Clark signing autographs for 2 minutes 20 seconds. There are literally
During the recent Indiana Fever versus Chicago Sky matchup on Barbie night, several notable developments occurred despite Caitlin Clark's absence from game action due to injury. The Chicago Sky demonstrated improved competitive effort compared to previous performances, particularly without key players Brianna Turner and Ariel Atkins in their lineup. This marked a significant change in their approach, showing sustained energy throughout the entire contest rather than their typical inconsistent performance patterns. The most remarkable aspect of the evening occurred before tip-off when Clark engaged extensively with fans despite her inactive status. She dedicated approximately 20 minutes to autograph signing, making her way through nearly two-thirds of the arena while accommodating hundreds of supporters.
Signing autographs for 2 minutes 20 seconds. There are just a serious amount of fans. I don't even know, is that even just a towel? Like, it's very different. Like, they're showing up there. People are showing up just to witness Caitlin Clark. It's like she's the damn Beatles. It is like she is the damn Beatles. And that is one, like, the craziest things. According to Ryan Rocco, let's take a listen here what he said. I think he said that Caitlin signed over 200.
This gesture proved particularly meaningful given the uncertainty surrounding her availability right up until game time. The attendance demographics revealed fascinating insights about Clark's drawing power and fan base reach. The crowd composition showed nearly equal representation between Fever and Sky supporters. Despite the game taking place in Chicago's home venue, many attendees had purchased tickets specifically hoping to witness Clark play or at minimum catch a glimpse of the superstar, demonstrating her transcendent appeal beyond traditional team loyalties. Clark's commitment to fan interaction became evident as she systematically worked through the crowd, signing everything from jerseys to towels and various memorabilia items.
I think he said that Caitlin signed over 200. Like,
we talked about the other day in New York, but you just have to appreciate about Caitlin Clark in these games. She knows a huge portion of these fans were hoping to see her play, and obviously they're not getting to. But she goes out of her way to make sure pregame she's signing autograph after autograph. We talked about the other day in New York when it was 108 autographs that she signed.
Her approach resembled that of a major entertainment figure, with fans displaying intense enthusiasm typically reserved for legendary musical acts or Hollywood celebrities. The scene captured the extraordinary cultural phenomenon Clark has become within women's basketball and sports entertainment broadly. According to reporter Ryan Roaco's observations, Clark signed over 200 autographs during her extended pregame fan engagement session. This dedication occurred despite her physical limitations and the knowledge that many supporters had traveled specifically expecting to see her compete. Her willingness to provide alternative value through personal interaction demonstrated awareness of her unique position and responsibility to the fan base.
It was 108 autographs that she signed. Well, today signed over 200 autographs. Was out for a long period of time, signing for fan after fan. So trying to make sure that she still is accessible to the fans here and helps create memories for so many of them. Here was Caitlin continuing to sign.
I mean, good for her. She simply understands kind of the responsibility she has and loves helping grow the game in that way.
Yeah.
Ruaco emphasized Clark's understanding of fan expectations and her proactive efforts to create meaningful experiences even when unable to participate athletically. Her accessibility and genuine engagement helped generate positive memories for numerous supporters who might otherwise have left disappointed by her absence from the game itself. This behavior pattern reflects Clark's broader approach to her role as the league's most recognizable figure. Whether she actively sought this position or simply accepted it as inevitable, she consistently demonstrates understanding of the responsibilities that accompany her elevated status. Her actions suggest recognition that her influence extends beyond individual game performance to encompass the overall growth and promotion of women's basketball.
Understands kind of the responsibility she has and loves helping grow the game in that way.
Yeah.
And that's one of the big things when it comes to Caitlin Clark. Like, you can say whatever the hell you want about Caitlin Clark, but at the same time, I think it's really, really, it's a really tough one when it comes to Caitlin Clark. Like, even if you don't like her, again, I don't really understand how that's the case in any scenario. But, like, even if you somehow just don't like Caitlin Clark, and I understand, maybe some people just don't.
The situation highlighted ongoing discussions about league leadership and representation. Some observers have questioned whether other players could serve as more suitable figureheads for women's basketball, particularly given various controversies and statements that have emerged throughout the season. However, Clark's consistent positive engagement with fans and communities has strengthened her position as the sport's primary ambassador. Her approach contrasts sharply with other prominent players who have made divisive statements about specific fan bases or geographic regions. When league stars express concerns about safety or comfort in certain markets, particularly those with significant family attendance, it creates unnecessary tension and potential alienation of supporter groups.
Don't like Caitlin Clark. And I understand, maybe some people just don't. Maybe some people just don't. But let's just say if you don't like Caitlin Clark, and like it's a like I just don't think there's a reason for it. I genuinely just think that people that don't like Caitlin Clark are just doing it because they feel like it. Like they're just pretending to not like Caitlin Clark. Because let's be real,
Clark has avoided such controversy while actively working to bridge any divisions that might exist. Throughout various situations where her name has been inappropriately invoked by problematic individuals or groups, Clark has consistently distanced herself from negative associations. She has made clear public statements rejecting any form of hatred or discrimination conducted in her name, going to extraordinary lengths to prevent misuse of her platform for divisive purposes. Critics who suggest Clark has somehow enabled or allowed problematic behavior ignore her repeated public condemnation of such actions. Short of permanently tattooing disclaimers on her face, it's difficult to imagine what additional steps she could take to separate herself from inappropriate uses of her name or image by bad actors.
They're just pretending to not like Caitlin Clark. Because let's be real. There was a player that a lot of fans were there for that didn't. And by the way, I don't think players should have to do this. But the fact is that does this count as taking over a trap? Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Does this count as taking over a trap? Robin, no. No, not like this. Not like this, Robin.
The distinction between on-court competitive behavior and off-court character becomes crucial when evaluating professional athletes. While Clark certainly displays intense emotion and competitive fire during games, which occasionally results in heated moments, this intensity represents normal athletic behavior present in most elite competitors across all sports. Off the court, Clark's conduct provides an exemplary model for young fans regardless of gender. Her community engagement, charitable work, accessibility to supporters, and professional demeanor establish her as an ideal role model for parents seeking positive influences for their children. This consistency and positive behavior away from competition distinguishes her from many professional athletes who struggle with public conduct.
No. No, not like this. Not like this, Robin. I think this is what means when you walk into your trap and take over. She in your city. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. I forgot about that tweet. Walk in your trap, take over your trap. Oh no.
The evening's events reinforced Clark's unique position within women's basketball and sports entertainment generally. Her ability to generate significant fan interest and engagement, even while injured, demonstrates the transcendent nature of her appeal. The equal representation of Fever fans in an opponent's arena, combined with her willingness to provide alternative value through personal interaction, illustrates why she has become such a transformative figure for the sport. This approach to fan engagement and public responsibility suggests a mature understanding of her platform's potential impact. Rather than viewing her elevated status as a burden, Clark appears to embrace opportunities to contribute positively to the sport's growth and fan experience.
Look, they showing them. Hey. Look at me.
Temper square, but cooler edge prevailed.
Hey!
He was up 10 at this point.
Hey, we would have been crashing out, RT.
Courtney, if somebody ever tackles you like that,
Nobody would ever tackle me like that. They would play with Bridget like that, and then we would have to like take it up there.
okay.
You see what I'm saying?
But I'm just saying.
Nobody would ever play with me like
If
that.
that ever happened, you better crash out behind me, because I'm crashing out.
Her actions during the Chicago visit exemplify this commitment, turning what could have been a disappointing evening for many supporters into a memorable and positive experience. The contrast between Clark's approach and that of other prominent players continues to shape discussions about leadership and representation within women's basketball. Her consistent emphasis on unity, accessibility, and positive engagement provides a template for how sports figures can effectively use their platforms to benefit both their sport and broader community. The evening ultimately demonstrated that Clark's influence extends far beyond statistical performance or competitive results. Her ability to create meaningful experiences and positive associations for fans, even during periods of physical limitation, reinforces her unique value to women's basketball and explains her continued growth as a cultural phenomenon beyond traditional sports boundaries.
Because I'm crashing out behind you.
T,
We can share the same jail cell. Yeah, bro.
Oh my gosh, bro. Our team would crash, bro, because they would play with somebody that's like not even like it would be like they would do that to like Bridget or like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like, bro, stop fucking playing with Bridget like that before we run down on some shit.
Several Minnesota Lynx players recently released footage expressing criticism toward the Indiana Fever regarding their response to the Connecticut Sun incident involving Caitlin Clark and Marina Mabry. While Sophie Cunningham eventually retaliated against Sheldon later in the contest, the Lynx players questioned the immediate reaction when Mabry made contact with Clark, causing her to fall. The Minnesota players demonstrated what their response would have been if their franchise player faced similar treatment. Their commentary emphasized collective team protection and immediate defensive action on behalf of teammates. These Lynx players represent the team Indiana will face on July 1st in the Commissioner's Cup Championship.
Stop fucking playing with Bridget like that before we run down on some shit.
Fags. Walk
For
them
real.
down.
Walk them down.
That is Minnesota Lynx players. Minnesota Lynx, who the Fever will play on July 1st in the Commissioner's Cup Championship. The Minnesota Lynx, who I consider probably the favorite to win the WNBA title this year. That's the team that I'm hoping the Fever face in the WNBA Finals. And they have
Minnesota stands as a leading contender for this year's WNBA championship and potentially Indiana's finals opponent. Their roster composition and team culture differ significantly from the Fever's approach. The Lynx organization maintains a distinct identity with players who embody a more aggressive, protective mentality. Their star player, Nafisa Collier, leads a squad characterized by toughness and solidarity. This represents the broader WNBA culture that casual observers, following only Clark, might not fully understand.
And they have a completely different tone, roster makeup. I'm just keeping it real about the Minnesota Lynx. And I'm not saying this is preferable, but I'm just saying those two women kind of represent the vibe in Minnesota. It's a lesbian-based team from their, butch coach to the roster makeup. Nafisa Collier is their star.
The criticism indirectly targets Indiana's front court players, particularly Aaliyah Boston and Natasha Howard. These teammates failed to immediately support Clark during the controversial moment, drawing questions about team unity and protective instincts. Boston deserves consideration regarding her natural temperament. She operates as a deeply religious individual with a gentle disposition rather than an enforcer role. Despite her physical size at 6'5" and over 200 pounds, confrontation contradicts her personality.
Fisa Collier is their star, but it's a tattoo-heavy team, girls that are a little bit rougher. And this is the WNBA. There are many of you all that only watch Caitlin Clark. That's it. If you watch the entire league, there's more of that, what you just saw for the Minnesota Lynx. And basically, they're calling out Aaliyah Boston, Natasha Howard. Like,
her character centers on positivity and kindness rather than aggressive protection. Howard presents a different case entirely. Her appearance suggests someone capable of enforcement, yet her commitment level appears questionable. Previous roster decisions eliminated players like Erica Wheeler, who demonstrated genuine support for Clark despite her backup role. Wheeler's departure removed a vocal advocate willing to defend the star player.
Natasha Howard. Like, they're not saying it by name, but the Indiana Fever have two bigs, Aaliyah Boston and Natasha Howard, and they're basically saying, hey, where are y'all? Your star player just got knocked to the ground and is flopping around like she's been killed, and y'all are basically nowhere to be seen. And they have a point. As it relates to Aaliyah Boston, I'm always going to defend Aaliyah Boston. She's not a
Currently, Sophie Cunningham fills the enforcer role effectively. Her martial arts background since childhood provides confidence in confrontational situations. However, Cunningham represents the primary teammate genuinely committed to Clark's protection. The overall roster lacks complete unity behind Clark. Some tension stems from various sources, including concerns about her playing style, tendency toward dramatic reactions, and confrontational approach that escalates opponent intensity.
She's not an enforcer, period, end of story. She's a hardcore Christian. She's very feminine, one of the most feminine 6'5", 210-pound, 220-pound women I think you'll ever see in your life. It's just not in her makeup. She's a super nice, emotes love type person. It's not in her personality to be an enforcer. Natasha Howard, tatted neck, tats everywhere.
Certain teammates question her methods and commitment to team-first basketball. This internal discord became evident during the recent poor performance against Golden State. Clark struggled significantly, shooting poorly from three-point range and scoring only 7 points. Her typical energy and emotion appeared absent throughout the contest.
Tatted neck, tats everywhere, got some wife, whatever. She just said she's not on board in a real way. And if you remember, or I don't know if you remember, but I said over social media, I was like, hey man, y'all need to hold on to this Erica Wheeler. She was their backup point guard from a year ago, little girl, tatted up, big Caitlin Clark supporter. She's like those Minnesota Lynx players. And she had Caitlin Clark's back, and I was like, y'all need to.
The aftermath of previous incidents revealed which teammates truly support Clark versus those remaining indifferent. This realization seemingly affected her mental state and contributed to the subpar showing. The loss to Golden State proves particularly concerning given their expansion status and depleted roster. 4 Valkyries players currently compete overseas in Eurobasket 2025, yet their remaining personnel defeated Indiana convincingly.